You're too available. And that's exactly why people stopped respecting you. You reply fast. You're always there, always reachable. And now, they take you for granted. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The more available you are, the less valuable you become. Not because people are bad, because they adapt. When something is always there, it stops feeling important. But the moment you disappear, everything changes. They notice your absence more than they ever noticed your presence. They start wondering, where did you go? Why did you stop responding? What are you doing without them? And that curiosity, that's power. Most people get this completely wrong. They think staying connected builds respect, that being available proves you care. It doesn't. It makes you easy, and easy gets ignored. The people who value you the least are usually the ones who have the most access to you, because access without effort creates entitlement. When someone can reach you anytime, your time loses value. You become a convenience, something they use when they need it, and forget when they don't. You've seen this. The friend who only texts when they need something. The one who disappears for weeks and comes back like nothing happened, and you accept it. Why? Because you think setting boundaries means losing people. But look closer. You already lost them. They're not treating you like someone important. They're treating you like an option. And the only way to stop being an option is to become unavailable. Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. You don't control people. You control your availability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Translation, you don't control who chooses you. You control whether you need them to. And that changes everything. Become a ghost. Not permanently. Strategically. Create space. Let people feel your absence. Because absence does something presence never could. It forces recognition. Stay with me, because this is where most people fail. Here's the framework. First, stop initiating. Not forever. Just long enough to see the truth. Who reaches out when you don't? Who disappears? If the connection dies when you stop carrying it, it was never real. That's silence. That's your answer. Second, become selectively available. Not to everyone. To the ones who earn it. Everyone else, limited access. Not out of ego, out of self-respect. Giving energy to people who don't reciprocate is not kindness. It's self-neglect. Third, stop explaining your absence. No long messages. No justifications. I needed space. That's enough. If they get uncomfortable, good. The ones who benefited from your constant presence will be the first to complain about your absence. Let them. Most people don't understand why disappearing works. They think it's manipulation. It's not. It's contrast. When you're always present, people stop noticing you. But when you remove that presence, you create a gap. And the human mind hates gaps. So it tries to fill them. They start thinking about you more, not less. They replay conversations. They check your profile. They wonder what changed. And for the first time, they feel your absence. That's when your value becomes visible. Not when you were there, when you're gone. Because people don't measure value by what is always available. They measure it by what can be lost. And when you disappear, you become something that can be lost. That changes how they see you. Not emotionally, psychologically. And once that shift happens, you can't go back to being ignored. Fourth, rebuild internal validation. This is where most people break. You disappear. It gets quiet, lonely, and you panic. Because you were never alone. You were distracted. You weren't lonely. You were addicted to being needed. Now you feel withdrawal. It's not a mistake. It's the process. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react." If you disappear and no one notices, that's not rejection, that's information. Fifth, enter monk mode. While they're distracted, you build, you focus, you grow, you create something they don't have access to. This isn't about isolation, it's about elevation. You stop performing for attention and start building real value. Seneca said, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." You don't owe people access to your energy. You owe yourself the chance to become something more. Sixth, return on your terms. No apologies, no explanations. You come back different, calmer, stronger, less available. And suddenly, people treat you differently. Because now, you treat yourself differently. I learned this the hard way. I used to be available for everyone. Always there. Always saying yes. I thought that made me valuable. It didn't. It made me predictable. Then one day I stopped. I pulled back. I went silent. And I waited. Out of 20 people I talked to regularly, 3 reached out. 3. That's when everything clicked. They didn't care about me. They cared about access. And when access disappeared, so did they. That hurt. But it also freed me. Because now I knew the truth. Month 1 was quiet, uncomfortable. Month 2, something shifted. I stopped waiting, started building, I stopped being available, and started being valuable. Month 3, they came back. Not because they cared, because they missed the convenience. And this time, I didn't give it back. That's power. Disappearing doesn't make you lose people. It reveals them. The right ones stay, the wrong ones vanish. And for the first time, you don't chase either. Here's the final shift most people never make. They disappear, but they're still waiting to be noticed. Checking their phone, hoping for a message. That's not power. That's silent desperation. Real detachment looks different. You disappear, and you stop watching. No checking, no waiting, no expectation. Because the moment you expect a reaction, you're still dependent. And dependence kills power. True power is this: you disappear, and you don't care who notices. Your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. Disappear, and watch what happens. The ones who notice, they matter. The rest, they were just using your access. Become a ghost, not to escape. To take your power back, if you refuse to be taken for granted, subscribe.